republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So you can use the roll call.
Councilperson Burrell,
Present.
Councilman Dickey,
Present.
Councilman Monteleone,
Present.
Supervisor Pizzolato,
Yes.
Councilman Mingorino,
Present.
and our town attorney Dow.
Here. Thank you. Okay, we have a pretty you guys may note on the agenda today, we have all the calls so people can take this with them from our emergency services. So we have a permanent record of that. The first thing I wanted to talk to the public about, as well as the town board, is we have our Association of Towns training for new council members, new and old council members. And after some discussions with the town board, I'm proposing that we send Chris as a newly elected official, Frank as a newly elected official, Sonia as a new official in a new capacity. Melissa would be going to training for the first time, and myself. The purpose of the Association of Towns is to obviously further training so that we can just get better to serve the public, but there's also a trade show component to it. So we find out about all the upcoming state grants, we find out about all the federal grants, we connect with other resources like engineers and basically every trade that's going to help us. New York State also sends other resources down for small towns. It's a really wonderful not only networking but training session that we have. It's a pretty low cost because we're members, so it comes out to about $250 per person. We did invite Laura to come, but Laura thought that it was more important that the new board members get the training and that myself and Sonia and Melissa go down. So she's going to forego the training. Full disclosure, I have a place to stay in New York City, as does Chris, so we will not have to pay for accommodations for the two of us. So the only accommodations will be for Sonia, Melissa, and Frank. Sonia and Melissa have a discounted hotel package through affiliation, and so Frank is afforded the.
I'll get my own accommodation.
Oh, good. Well, but just so you know, you have the Marriott Marquis where the actual event is held. It's a very discounted low rate.
I'll take care of it.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to participate in the Association of Towns training from February 15th to the 18th, to include Chris, Frank, Sonia, Melissa, and myself. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
For a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you very much. In December, before the holiday break, Laura Burrell and I went to the Justice Court in the town of Highland and conducted an audit of their expenses and their books on a monthly basis. Everything looked really great. They keep really great records. We received the following letter from the Justice Court. Dear Supervisor Pizzolato, pursuant to Section 2019A of the Uniform Justice Court Act, it is the duty of every justice to present his or her records and docket at least once a year to the auditing board of the village or town, which shall examine said records or docket or cause to be examined and enter in the minutes of its proceedings the fact that they have been duly examined. So the letter goes on to say, we can submit our findings to the Internal Audit Services Unit, which we found exemplary, and we plan to pass that letter on, but I just wanted to call this into the public's attention and make a motion to submit the letter of exemplary service from the Town of Highland Justice Court. Do I have that motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I just wanted to give a little report too from the Crowded Table group. They had their inaugural meeting at the Senior and Community Center this past Saturday. They had over 40 people show up, which is a really great turnout for Saturday. Their subject of this session was on community. The next event will take place on February 14th. And appropriately, their subject matter will be love, I guess, at large, that they'd like to have a community conversation with everybody who plans to be there. So it's my understanding that it's completely free. It's the second Saturday of each month during the cold months when they're required to meet indoors. It's at 2 p.m. for about an hour. All are invited to attend, all ages. And so, yeah, I would extend this invitation to the full community for February 14th. Also, just looking out into the crowd, I wanted to welcome our esteemed guest, Legislator Matt McPhillips. Thank you for being here tonight. And I received the following letter later today. Dear John, which is always a rough way to start a letter. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to serve the town of Highland by your appointment to the Town of Highland Planning Board. However, current circumstances indicate that I can now best serve the town by rendering my resignation. Thank you again. This has been a wonderful learning experience. Sincerely, Andrew Valenti. So I just wanted to offer a round of applause for your service. Thank you very much. And along with this resignation, full disclosure, I was not in favor of this resignation, and I pleaded with Mr. Valenti to stick around in his current post. But I invited him to join the 9/11 Heroes Park Committee, along with Andrew Boyer and Pete Carnici, and he accepted after getting the approval from George Haas, who is the commander of the American Legion. They had given him a full pass to join said committee. So I would like to make a motion to include Andrew Valenti on the 9/11 Heroes Park Committee. Do I have that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Andrew, thank you for continuing to serve the town of Highland. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I also wanted to circle back on the UDC funding request for $1,000. They wrote to us at our December meeting, and we thought that it would be better to place the responsibility on the current town board because it affects our budgets of the 2026 calendar year. I can say confidently, what the UDC provides the town with. That's one of my favorite events of the year is the litter sweep. Resources that are afforded to us because it comes through the UDC, and thus the county and the state more than surpass the $1,000 that we would be offering to the UDC. Legislator McPhillips and I ride on the back of the garbage truck and pick up all the bags every year. So that's a tradition I don't want to put to bed. We've had a wonderful time with the garbage in the past 4 years.
Yeah, I was born.
Yeah. No big job on that day. But it's a really wonderful day. But not only does the UDC funds and analyze the litter plot, but they also provide us with a river corridor management plan, which protects the town from a lot of egregious sort of development and really protects our greatest resource, which in my opinion is the Delaware River and our town and all the lakes and other bodies of water that feed into it. I do really love their work, and I'm very proud of the work that Christine Martin has provided for the town. She's been delegate for the past 2 years, and she's joined every single committee. She goes to 3 meetings a month and reports back dutifully and does a wonderful job. So I'm very proud of her, and we had a new alternate. It was me the past 2 years, and we found another gentleman that is excited about joining as well. And he's going to relieve her of one of her committee duties at least when they have their meeting later in January. But I would like to make a motion to pay the Upper Delaware Council the requesting amount of $1,000.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I see an error on my agenda, and I also want to take care of one other, item of business. Do I have a motion to approve the reorganization minutes from January 6th, 2026? I would actually like to open the floor for discussion. Or did you have some changes?
Yeah, I submitted some edits to Sonia, spelling errors and a time error. And with those changes, she was happy to make. I'm happy to put the motion forward to accept the reorganization minute.
And you've been given those changes?
Yeah.
They're minor, they're just.
Yes.
Spelling errors. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, is there any further discussion or anything that needs to be edited? Okay, with that,
We need a
in the
second.
motion, do I have a second?
I firsted.
Yeah, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So we are on a roll for the January reorg meeting. This will be our meeting, when it's posted due to state regulations, on time within 7 days. So thank you, Sonia. You're off to a great start.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, listen to.
Chris, can you report on the Highland Health Initiative and correct, our typo here as well?
Yeah, there's a typo, under the Highland Health Initiative, the open house meeting and with Assemblywoman Paula Kay and legislator Matt McPhillips, of course, will be on January 22nd. We're going to open the doors at 3:00. I said 2:00 earlier, but we're going to open doors at 3:00 to welcome members of our community and the public. We'll have people from the Highland Health Initiative there on hand to be able to discuss how the project is unfolding, where we want to go, what resource needs we need, and what types of milestones we'll be looking at. So it's very important that the whole community be engaged together with our legislators and with our partners, our medical partners and other providers. So the 22nd is the opportunity to do that. Assemblywoman Kay and legislator McPhillips are expected to get there at 4 p.m. And we have an agenda that we'll be publishing that you'll be able to see that. But more or less, the agenda is what I just told you. We'll be sharing ideas and making sure that we're all on the same page. Yes.
What is the location?
It's at the Family Medical, it's River
3452 State.
34th, yeah, it's at it's
Right next to Il Castello.
it's the former practice of Dr. DeBoule.
Okay. Chris, did you have anything further to report?
That's it.
And full disclosure, we did have a public hearing right before this to approve the MOU and the updates to the lease on the Highland Health Initiative for the SAM grant. That was sponsored by Assemblywoman Paula Kay, $100,000. Okay, Mr. Barnes, please tell us about this. Yes,
Did we vote to approve?
no, I have that,
Where that's coming up?
yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that we have that.
It was right after, it was right before you.
Yeah. Hold on, sorry, okay, yep, sorry, I thought we moved that down. So, after our public hearing, if there's no further questions from the board, do I have a motion to approve the Highland Health Initiative MOU and, accompanying lease, based on our public hearing earlier this evening?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
I understand.
Okay, thank you, so moved. Now, Joe, sorry to get you all excited, you're on. Tell us about this 2026 Chevy Colorado.
It's a new pickup truck. At one time, further down the road to replace the 2015 Chevy Silverado we have. It's a smaller truck. More for transportation. It'll be used for mowing crew in the summer. And just to have another 7 years.
And whose budget did that come on?
We will come out of the town highway department's budget.
Great, and and who will have access to the truck? You said the full highway department, but.
Full highway department and the maintenance department.
Thank you very much. Okay, Joe reported on this at the last meeting. He gave us the specs. It's fully funded by their department and his budgets. Do I have a motion to approve the purchase of the 2026 Chevy Colorado?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So you've given us a lot of information about the diesel diagnostic. Joe provided us with a letter from Diesel Laptops, which is the diagnostic company that makes this laptop. It basically, the letter just explains that they're the sole vendors for this type of diagnostic equipment. So a state that is not in order because they're the only ones who do this sort of work. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
This letter is actually the letter that was sent to the Sullivan County Highway Department. And the foreman out there forwarded this letter to me to help the purchase of the laptop.
And the amount of that is $13,315.
That was the quote that I did at the end of November, I think it was. So I will definitely find out what the new price is. Matter of fact, I emailed me the other day, and was wondering what was gonna be happening. So I told them that, we would be discussing it at the town board.
So, I mean, I guess the only way to approve this, like with full transparency and for the sake of all the board members and the public, can we try to see if they'll honor the price of $13,315? And if there's any changes to that, then we'll have to revisit that at the February meeting. But right now, we'd like to ask them to stick to this quote at $13,315. I know this has the sales tax is itemized, but obviously we don't pay sales tax.
Right.
So if they're able to honor this quote, then we can get our approvals tonight. But if anything changes with that, then we'll have to do it at the February meeting.
Okay, that's fair.
So does that sound fair to everybody?
As long as they honor the quote and remove sales tax.
Yep, yes. So do I have a motion to approve the diesel laptops quote for $13,315?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Tom, can you give us an update on the courthouse?
Yes, as far as the courthouse goes, like I mentioned last meeting, all the bids are in. We have to level the bids. I spoke with Frank and I are gonna get together to do it next week, but John, still waiting on the go-ahead, to get this.
Yeah, so the only thing that was in question with Ways and Means was the actual biggest thing that we need completed on this project to make the building solvent, which is to repair and replace the stucco on the building. So they went back and forth. Ways and Means is like the bouncer that passes it to the bond committee. So the bond committee takes the interest that's earned from state bonds and they apply those funds to projects like this for SAM grants and capital grants. So he said that the bond committee may have a problem with replacing or repairing the stucco, but we're replacing the entire unit of the stucco. We've been using a completely different product, their panels, that would be affixed to the building. And then there will also be milling work on top of said panels. So we didn't have a quote yet that we included in the original budget approval. We didn't have the all the milling work done on the outside and the trim work and things like that broken out because it was part of a larger quote that we received. We received the one from AV Stucco to fix the foundation and for the panels. And then another bid had included the milling work. So I resubmitted that and told them that we would be adding trim, signage, all kinds of things, and that this was a different product. And so we haven't received a response. I turned that in with, I believe it was December 29th or 30th. So I didn't expect to hear anything back. So I'll circle back with him, especially now that our our Highland Health Initiative grant is also entered. I have big business with them, so hopefully I can get those approvals. As soon as we get those approvals, we'll be able to start the bids that we've already kind of accepted, which would be the foundational work, if he's able to do those things. And then we can start to break out some of the interior costs as well. So
We're ready to go.
yeah, I feel like everybody's ready to go, excited about it. But it's a little counterintuitive. Sometimes the way the state works where, you know, the thing that we need the most is the stucco repair to keep the building standing. And they're saying, yeah, everything but that's sort of more than fine. So they're kind of like beating our heads. We'll get it approved. It will happen.
We have a couple of a couple of buildings to report on here.
Sure.
As far as the highway garage, we had made some repairs in the past month. We had to replace a well pump and boiler. We had a boiler repair for, it was a thermostat issue, but those two things have been taken care of.
And we also have a bid here from Sullivan Overhead and from Duchess Overhead Doors. Can you explain what this is for?
Yes, there's the panel needs to be replaced on the bottom of one of the overhead doors. It's damaged. And Joe requested that we get 8 garage door openers. And also the one from Sullivan overhead door is going to adjust the 8 overhead doors, adjust them, clean them up, lubricate them. He had the best price by far of a total cost of $3,860, $3,860. The other bid from Duchess overhead door for the same work was
$7,461.
well, that's not.
No, with an additional 2 on top of that. It's 9,000.
His bid was 2,301 plus an additional 1,400 plus another 2,000. So his bid was about 4,301. And this bid is 3,860. He had electronic devices that he was going to put on the overhead, a radio receiver.
Oh, the 20
boosters and antennas,
Uh-oh.
which we don't believe we're going to need, correct, Joe? No. So that's what that $5,000.
Oh,
the
okay.
boosters,
Yeah.
Took that out. So I added 2,000 to the 2,301, got it. 4,000, so we're 3,860. Sullivan County has the best price.
So do I have a motion to approve the Sullivan overhead doors quote at $3,860?
I'll make that a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any extensions? So moved?
I have other things. Sorry.
No worries.
The town hall. What, start the construction here as well.
Yeah, so this grant has been approved totally. The only thing that we're doing, because now we have a tech whiz on our board and Frank Monteleone, which we're really excited about. So we're basically gonna take the quote that Laura got for ADA compliance, so for hearing impaired, visually impaired, as well as a built-in camera, so she doesn't have to come 2 hours before the meeting to set up all this equipment so that it can be broadcast at home, also amplified. All that will be stationary permanent equipment in town hall, and it'll coordinate with the redux of this actual room too. So if we're going to be making capital improvements to the room, we're also going to try and get all the AV equipment up to date, that none of that interferes with the actual room. We're also reimagining the kitchen to not just be a kitchen anymore. It'll be a conference room for everybody, so that the 2 window pass-throughs will be closed down. We'll put an actual conference door on there. We've come to find with the controller here and with other people, it comes up all over the time. Everybody has a key to my office to use my office is the communal, town board office or meeting space, but it would be nice to have a dedicated meeting room that is private for anything going on in town. So we're going to reimagine the kitchen there, and then this town hall will also be made just more kind of up to date and more efficient for holding meetings and accommodate all that equipment. So we're really excited about that. All those expenses have been approved. We just need to go through the AV quote with Laura, and then they will present that package to the AV company to see what we could either knock off or do ourselves. And then we're pretty much good to go there. But I do want to just have one final pass with Ways and Means, so I can say we're good, right? We're good, right? Because if you do anything kind of beforehand. We were very lucky to get the architect approved. Ways and Means did catch that where we were able to increase the dates in 2024 when the money was first pledged, so that we were able to include the architect's fee, because if those dates aren't filled out correctly, then they can kick those back 2 years later when you let them spend the money. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you submit the receipts so much later than the project approval that anything that isn't specifically date approved from Ways and Means, they'll kick back and say this can't be included. And so we want to be really clean.
How many times have you submitted receipts for the?
I submitted the senior center receipts no less than 8 times, but they were accepted.
Hey.
Yes. So we're getting $50,000.
It's easy to get the pledge. Well, not easy, but it's step one is to get the pledge for funds.
Getting that actual
Step two,
check.
to pry it out of the state's hands.
Yeah.
Well, let's get it, let's get those numbers in electronics, so you get started. We have to get going.
Yeah.
So January's halfway done, right?
Yep.
And the only thing future, hopefully for this year, I know it wasn't put into the budget, but I want everybody to know that we need a roof for that emergency building for the town over here. And we need a roof for the community center.
Yeah.
Yeah, after we've done all these wonderful renovations and then we have all of the senior and community center, we're noticing that at the seams that there's water damage coming in after the beautiful paint job. We're still seeing like water trickle in, which is not great. And I think everybody can remember from the 2024 reorg meeting, our wonderful legislator was sitting right under a leak with water streaming onto his head, and so hopefully,
good.
yeah, yeah. But we need money, and so we'll be vetting everything, all the opportunities in the state, and hopefully we can find something at the Association of Towns, or with our assemblywoman, or with our senator, or by some means, we will try to look for a grant for those roofs as well. Tom, did you have anything else to add?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Laura, can you please update on the Growing Soul meeting that we had right before the holiday break?
So we were approved for a DEC grant in partnership with Growing Soul. Last year, we had a wonderful presentation here during our town board meeting regarding using the commercial kitchen after the upgrades were done to do composting, food recycling, and work with local community pantries and the school on food-based programs. And so when we initially applied to the DEC, we had asked for the full Monty. We wanted like the renovation money. We wanted to do the kitchen. We wanted to partner with Growing Soul. And because we had gotten the Office of Children and Families grant to do the renovations, the DEC came back and said, why don't we give you less now that you've gotten that covered? And so we talked a lot with our about what's feasible in terms of the amount of volunteer hours we have, not stepping on any existing programs, making sure there's clean lines of communication, and what's really possible in the space so that we don't interrupt existing meetings in the community center with our seniors or potential rentals. And so we kind of hashed out a plan that would in part accept the DEC money. We would utilize in-kind services, space around the senior and community center and up at the highway for containers to house things like composting program buckets, equipment, storage. And so we've come to a really nice meeting ground in terms of who's going to do what in that space for the Growing Souls program. And so we've committed to doing one program a month that would collect food, store food, parse it out. We have volunteers and staffing coming from Growing Soul. So myself or Sonia or Melissa aren't in there cutting onions and handing out food. We also want to maintain our strong partnerships with the pantries. So the deliveries, it's not going to interrupt any of the existing deliveries, food deliveries, or where that food goes. And so what I'm going to do is put together an information sheet on what Growing Souls is, what the DEC grant includes, what it looks like for the town's partnership and commitment, which isn't actually cash. It's actually in-kind labor and space, as well as approvals that we'll be putting through to the full board. We'll do a full, a follow-up presentation. And we want to put that out to the community to make sure that they know what resources are available. And things coming down the pipeline will be, town branded compost buckets that are handed out where you can bring your food scraps in exchange for, really rich soil to add to your garden. Rich soil that we can add to our town gardens and save money on the back end. What we'd use in our grant funding through Sullivan 180 for mulch and amending the soil for our gardens, we can now produce through this partnership. So it's not as big as a grant, but it doesn't need to be as big of a grant anymore. So we're going to accept as $75,000, and we'll be rolling out an information sheet and asking our partner to come and do a full presentation for the next board meeting.
And just to give some more information too, so we're also looking for other community partners, people like the Lions Club, who do the mum sales and different plant sales throughout the year. The Berryville Farmers Market to both collect compost and to disseminate the fertilizer that the composting puts out. So there's a lot of really wonderful benefits, but we really need like a full town buy-in. We also talked about Saturday being the day when people, give their compost to the horse, it's called. It's basically like a storage container, a big machine that composts everything, but there's certain operators and certain qualifications for operating said equipment. So in some cases we'll be just storing the food. So the whole setup will require the storage container that's the horse device that composts the actual stuff, and then refrigeration and storage of the composting so that critters don't get in there, sealed areas and containment. We also have to make a proposal to the highway department because we will probably be utilizing space, as part of the highway department property at large, but we have to make sure that it doesn't interfere with anything that they're doing. And we'll also limit the seasonality of the composting so that it doesn't interfere with like snow removal or anything like that as well. So we still have some logistics to work out. I feel like we came to a really happy medium place. I told Jessica and Growing Soul, none of us here are going to be standing here with a spatula or a bucket or operating this thing. And so by limiting the program, we were able to then, like Laura said, basically us housing this equipment and allowing this to take place in our town will be our in-kind. So we won't be putting any extra monies into the program and we'll be the beneficiaries of it. So I feel like it was a real win-win for everybody. But we definitely stressed that nobody on the board and in the community, I feel like we're all pretty maxed out. The people who volunteer and show up for things is kind of at an all-time high right now. And I don't think anybody can take out anything else. So we feel excited about that. Laura and I are going to be working on the USDA grant submission. They just passed us the 2026 grant application for the reestablishment of the constabulary for body cams, weaponry grants, personal safety, and vehicles. So that's going to be the total full package of the USDA grant. Laura and I will put that together and they will get back to us. I think they're reviewing in March, so we have some time to get this together. But we're really excited about the opportunities there. And then Sullivan 180 put out a grant completely in line with what the Highland Health Initiative entails. So we're also excited. We will be filling out that application as well for potential rents and or staffing funding. So we're excited about that opportunity as well.
Is there a match on that one?
Yes, but our capital improvements to the building seems to be the good match for the Sullivan 180 grant. And also the grant that they're administering to us from the New York Health Foundation is also seen as a match.
Okay.
But they're administering that one, so we'll see if that one counts or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Tom, do you want to give us an update on the meeting with the constabulary
Yes,
committee?
John and I and Jason and Mike, we had meetings last week in regards to putting the constabulary together. Jason Sarnoff put a whole plan together for us. I don't have a copy of it, John.
We all got, we're gonna be discussing it in executive session.
Oh, okay. Well, John, Jason put this whole plan together as far as guidelines for the constabulary. It's fantastic. He's done it, he's a resident here and he took his, personal time and put this together, so we're fortunate to have him, and we'll go more into depth with it once we, discuss it in the executive session. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the thing about the document is it's sort of the guidebook to the constabulary. It's a living document, so they'll be amending things. We have to file it with the Department of Criminal Justice. So for the time being, it will not be available to the public, but we will be if it is required by law, I think that we have to try to we have to wait and see what the Criminal Justice Department comes back with. For right now, the guidebook will be only shared within the confines of the town board, filed with the Criminal Justice Department, and then we'll update the community with requirements as we move along. But it's by no means like the end-all Bible for it. It's just to start the paperwork of reinstating our constabulary as it was voted on by voters. So we're excited about that. Also, Tom and I are in the midst of updating the town protocol and emergency plan. We both have been to 2 dam workshops, emergency dam workshops, that will be incorporated into the plan as there's some updates there. And then we're also just going to review protocol for any emergencies in town, with the town hall now being the sole command center and the senior community center being a storm shelter, as well as the St. Anthony Parish Center being a storm center as well, and town hall solely being used as a command center. So we have some updates to make for the plan, but we look forward to presenting that as soon as possible.
And to add to that, today I attended the New York State Emergency Certificate training Tier 3, as well as the second course was the ICS, which is the Incident Command Systems for the county, as well as the state. And I learned, which I didn't realize, that this Catskill area includes Delaware, Ulster, and Sullivan County. We're in Region 2. And in this Region 2 is the highest natural disaster area in the state. They had 22 natural disasters in this area since 1954. So we're in an area here that receives a lot of storm damage. And that's why John and I were speaking here. If you are in need of any assistance, your neighbors, your relatives, or wherever it is, yourself, please give your name, number, address to someone or Melissa. And if there's a problem or a storm, any natural disaster, we will make sure that you are okay. Reach out to us. I'll give you my personal phone number. We'll make sure if we have to pick you up, bring you to one of the warming stations, or if you need food, we'll get it to you. And that's what we're going to work on in the next few months. So if you can spread the word, please do. We're out to make sure we take care of our people.
Yeah, you guys may have also noticed on your tax bills, if you've received an independent tax bill, it has a spot for in case of emergency or your preferred method to communicate with the town, whether it be email, phone call, letter, or visit. That was noted on the tax insert. You might not have seen it. Several pages, probably just forward, it might be damn chunk already. So it's on the flip side, right? Yeah, so if you guys could return those, we just really want to know how you would like to be communicated with, and we'll try to follow it as much as possible.
Melissa?
Print them out. There's extras on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you only pay your taxes via escrow, and you don't receive the individual bills, you can pick that up and just return it to the clerk. Or the clerk tonight, or to any one of us that can get it to them. Okay, so this is a new committee for Chris Dickey. Tom Vigorino has been on the subcommittee, but we are looking to set up a training for AEDs. And then we'd also like to have the town board and any other participants, town employees, etc., to receive CPR training as well, the AED training. Did we have some proposed dates that could work for everybody?
I don't have any dates, John, but let's pick one. We could pick one right now.
Okay.
We just have to check with
Chris.
with Chris.
With Chris, and then Chris has certified CPR instructors as well. It's to my understanding, he doesn't have his certification to teach CPR to other people yet. So he has a couple different people within his emergency services department. That's correct, right?
Tim Shad.
Tim Shad is one. He's got 3 or 4 trainers as part that are involved in the ambulance. So I think we should choose 2 days, so that everybody can make it. Potentially, how does January 27th and 28th look?
27, 20 may be a personal issue for me, John.
Okay, would earlier in the week or later in the week work out?
Later would is
So
possible.
like the 30th?
Thursday, Friday, Thursday is Friday.
Do you want to say the 28th and 29th?
I mean, both the dates for this.
It's not, that's not, because he also said that he's gonna be doing one for the senior center, he just couldn't come up with a date. So this is,
We've been doing it with seniors.
yeah, that's what he
The
said,
highway
okay.
department, the highway department's doing some of them in substance.
I think they're doing it on
Joe, do you guys have a date scheduled with them?
tomorrow, right?
Guys are doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay,
All of them are just a few.
No.
So,
okay. So why don't we, from now, why don't we tentatively say the 28th and 29th? And
That's
then we can also revisit this at the senior community center, because we'd like to have at least the president of the board, the outreach and the secretary or treasurer, like, we would like to get the officers within that group to have the training, especially with the AED defibrillator. So let's tentatively set the date of the 28th and 29th, and I'll send it out to all department heads if that works. No good for you?
That would be here at the town hall.
No good for either of you? Would you like to diversify the dates a bit?
I think we should just figure it out offline with a poll. You know, it's not something to be decided tonight. I have multiple work schedules that I have to balance, so.
Got it, okay. So, I'll put some target dates together for everybody, and then we can respond and try to get some stuff together.
that sounds good.
Okay,
Right after the decide whatever that.
okay. Laura, do you want to walk us through your code, report, please?
Sure, everybody has in their packet, and for those that are new, a permit report by type from the 1st of December through the 12th. As well as the 1st of December through 12/31 to give you a sense of, you know, what kinds of alterations are happening in residential areas and in town, signs, swimming pools, wood stoves. And each council member gets also a current open and closed violation list. And so those are for you to look through. If you have any questions, you can follow up directly with the code enforcement team or with either Councilman Monteleone or myself. We can also request from our special counsel, Brian, it's from anything that's currently in court. In addition, regarding the code enforcement office, we're finally ready to give them what other offices have been given over the last year and a half, which is an upgrade to their computers. They're operating on a seriously outdated Windows platform. It's pretty embarrassing. We've kind of reached our limit in terms of memory and storage to be able to even use IPS, which is how we issue permits and code violations. And so I've made the team there do research on what type of CPU would be needed to get the appropriate upgrades. This is something I discussed during the budget process in August and September. We buffered in some money to the code office budget to make those purchases. And so everyone has a copy of a Quill quote for a CPU for one Dell computer at $1,470.99. And on the other side is directly purchasing through Dell for $1,157.30 for one CPU. Now we have to buy 2 for the code clerk and for the code enforcement team. Just purchasing directly through Dell, of course, would save us some money. However, because we do not have a procurement procedure that we voted on, I don't know if we have to go through Quill or if we can purchase through Dell. So tonight I would like to make a motion for the purchase not to exceed $1,500 per computer. So we can move forward on making those purchases either through Dell or Quill. Hopefully we can through Dell and save the money. But I understand that there'll be some buffer we needed, for installation, shipping and all of that fun stuff. And then if it's determined that we have to purchase through Quill, we'll at least have enough money in the motion tonight to make that purchase. And so let's open for discussion before I do that formal motion.
We need them.
Why? We need the
The
computers.
system doesn't operate. I mean,
They-
they get to several days where they're like at a standstill because they get the wheel of death and.
It's
and
clogging
just to
the
Operate our basic
clogging the
permitting
roads.
and violation software. Okay, for the discussion, with that, we have a motion to purchase.
I'll make the motion to purchase either through Quill or Dell, not to exceed $1,500 per computer with a maximum of $3,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any extensions? So moved. Thank you, Laura.
And then Sonia, can you just let us know, maybe through you or Lori, if we have to purchase through Quill, if not, let's purchase through Dell and save some cash. Thank you for that. I'm done.
Sorry to keep you in the hot seat.
Oh.
Laura, can you let us know what's going on with the migration?
Yes, we applied for our URL to move from a .com, so it's townofhighlandny.com to townofhighlandny.gov. It's available. Our request is under review by the state. And so we're just waiting to hear back. They keep telling me 10 days. You'll hear in another 10 days. I know it's available. I don't know why it's taking so long. But I do have our web administrator, Doreen Warner, ready to go to make the migration really simple. I don't really see any costs being associated with it as of today, but it is a state mandate so that we have a .gov URL. And then Frank and I have been talking a little bit about changing over the email addresses. So we're already queued up with Secure Cloud, who helps us with our Microsoft Office for the town of Highland, to think about like the 15 email addresses that we have, what it would look like and cost to move it over so that it says .gov instead of .com. This is a mandate. You'll start to see all towns following suit. Some are more ahead of the game. We're somewhere in the middle. We're not behind. But that's going to be taking place. And it might cause the website to be down for a day while we make that migration. And so I'll update you and of course the public when that's going to happen.
Great, thank you. Along those lines too, we work with Secure Cloud for our web and technology at large. And so we did have an IT director in past years. It was established at the end of 2023. So we had basically a member of the town board that was compensated for basically corresponding with our technology company. So we eliminated that position and taken that budget wholly and asked Secure Cloud to give us a contract because we were getting too many bills for specific phone calls and things. So now we're going to be on a monthly retainer with them within that $8,000. So it comes out to about $666.66 per month that they will basically be on demand and on call. And they're in the process of creating a template from a boilerplate contract that they have for what services will be offered and what will be extra. So we're really trying to stay within the confines of what we were paying our IT person before, whereas before it was a double cost. We basically pay somebody to contact that person and then they would do the work and then we would get another bill for it. So now we're just trying to tighten our budgets up and really stay within the budget that we set forth. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's helping out with that. Matt McPhillips, legislator, I wanted to commend the legislators on not raising our taxes 9%, and working really hard. I was on the way to the holiday party where all the legislators were, and thankfully at the final hour, they had voted that there will only be a 2% increase, which was wonderful. So great work there. Is there anything else you wanted to add about that process or anything else you guys have going on?
Got some interesting things actually I'll be talking to you on, just in terms of, Community Preservation Act. I just did a talk, this last weekend down in Mamaking about, some legislation that we're looking to get through at the state level now. Passed it unanimously last month through the legislature, but it'll, give towns another tool in the toolbox for, sort of preserving land that's important to them. Should you guys choose to do so, it's totally up to the towns, but happy to talk with you about that further and give you any presentations you might need, bring somebody in who, a lot more knowledgeable than me, but, helped me a lot to increase my knowledge about it. But yeah, budget obviously, we don't want to raise anybody's taxes ever, but it wasn't as, intense of a hit as, it was originally projected to be. We just gotta keep an eye on things moving forward and try to do as much as we can with what we have, and try to keep supporting the town, so. That's what I'm about.
Great, we appreciate your work, but that does remind me, we were the recipients of the Rust grant or the Removing Unsafe Structures grant.
Yep.
And both towns who were awarded that grant are kind of like stuck in limbo. One for us with another grant program, and with the other town, I think it was Rob's town. Rob is never.
Yeah, that's
right.
right. Yeah.
So he's also waiting for some legislation to get the permit to remove the building because they keep appealing it in court or something like that. But anyways, it's a good thing. The fact that both of us are kind of held up, they're extending our Rust grant for 2026. So that should.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was, but that shouldn't affect anything.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We thought we were gonna have to give up the money because I made a vow to everybody that this 564 building would not cost the town any money. And so I want to stick by my word. And so we would have had to match that. We didn't get the grant that we had initially applied for, but we have another grant in the works for dealing with that to match the Rust grant. So now we have the whole 2026 to vet that, and the legislature is extending it. So I feel really good and excited that we're able to keep our promise to the community and not spend any additional money. So thank you for all your work on that as well.
Happy to do that. And always happy to hear some new ideas too. You never know. It
Great.
can be flexible. So.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing attorney-client privilege information, LoSAP benefits, and ongoing litigation. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. It is now 7:53. Do I have a motion, it's the 8th, do I have a motion to resume, its town voting, come out of the executive session?
I'll make-
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion based on our executive session to schedule a public hearing for the potential removal of a planning board member. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. No other actions were taken that will not be with those minutes. Do I have a motion to pay general abstract number 13-2025, claims number 402 to 427 in the amount of $44,206.11? I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay general abstract number 1-2026, claims 1 through 10 in the amount of $5,569.34?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
First.
Laura. Do I have a motion to approve highway abstract number 1-2026, claims 1 through 15 in the amount of $44,682.63? Make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay that for Albany Streetlights number 12-2025, claim number 12 in the amount of $144.07?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Is there any public comment? Yes.
I wouldn't want to disappoint you.
Thank you, Andy.
If I understood correctly, converting the kitchen into a conference room would mean eliminating the kitchen facilities. Is that correct?
No, we'll still have like a kitchen nook, we'll have a refrigerator, we'll have a counter space and a sink. We're just minimizing the like sort of
No,
layout of the kitchen.
it still
because-
will be a facility, but in a modified form.
Correct. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, Charlie.
I mentioned the town before, that during Sandy and Hurricane Sandy and Hugo, we had over 500 people who needed to go to work
Mhm.
and have a hot shower. Neither one of the facilities have a hot shower.
Yeah, it's,
Which is a very important thing for people, you know, kids reporting from school, because they get open things up. But,
Yeah.
and
So-
you have to also, but you have to monitor that, because it gets pretty crazy. We were taking 15-minute intervals, to get
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah, so two things. So there's a new kind of consideration or hopefully a new consideration with the highway department and the American Legion building, so it's not completely out of play.
Okay.
Number two, we, from the previous administration of the of St. Anthony's of Padua parish, there was a plan in place to get a grant from United Way to put a shower into the parish hall. And that was part of the last MOA. That was approved by that group. So we said that we would seek funds to put in a shower at that facility. I think in terms of the senior and community center, I don't see us putting a shower in that building. So if there was to be one, it would probably be located at the parish hall. And then separately, we would like to potentially onboard the American Legion Hall. The only other thing I can say is that Camp Koinonia has also extended the opportunity to use that as an emergency storm shelter because they're trying to get a generator. So have a secondary shower facility, you know, in the future, not immediately.
And you can also speak to the body of the trustees, the fire department has a beautiful shower,
Oh,
which I'm sure they'll let you use.
Yeah,
didn't
if we
know
had-
that.
if we had a consideration, how, does anybody know about Highland Lake Fire Department, if there's a shower facility there?
I don't think so.
We do have a shower here at the, one singular shower at the,
Ambulance building.
in the ambulance building.
Huh.
Did you know that? You can shower any day of the week.
thought it was
Yeah,
just
doing
like
that?
that. Oh, it's a wet room.
Huh?
It's the whole bathroom is a wet room?
I haven't had it.
But how, have you seen eyes on that shower?
Have you been in before?
Which one?
In this
To the building,
next door?
is it a full wet room or is it just a singular shower?
What you thought?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know you had it.
I don't think we do.
I know about.
I saw somebody shaving in there, so.
Yeah.
That was wet.
I think we're good. Anyway.
But yes, we
I hope
need-
it answers your question. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Now that we have a new administration, we'll have to talk to the parish council president. Happens to be in our presence right now, so maybe I'll grab her ear and see if we.
No, she isn't the parish council president anymore. There is no president of the parish council anymore. It is father controlled because we merged and it's just four of us from two parishes that are together now. So
Oh,
I am no longer the parish council president, but anything you need to know, you ask me and I will get you a good answer.
okay, thank
What's
you.
that answer, but.
Get an answer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, that one.
They're wonderful. They've always extended their buildings and their services to us. Officially, we don't work with them in an official
No, I-
capacity. But you know, like when we had the Army Corps of Engineers here, I remember in 2017, was it? They actually offered their space to
Here's a
to
space.
to the town to
Ah,
very
that's
well,
not
you know, they were coming around and telling people in sections of groups, like, you know, you can come shower here if you need. I remember them coming into BDH and being like, anybody needs a shower? So hopefully the community will rise, but right now we don't have a shower planned just yet, but it's in the cards. And also the school, you know, like if worse came to worse, I feel like we could work with the school and potentially provide as well. Any other public comment? Yes.
I think that's a good idea, working with the school. I think the camp is very far away. It's a very long road to get to. If
Mhm.
people in an emergency situation, that to me is a little far. And as far as New Hope with all the women there, I don't know
Yeah.
what a good idea that would be.
We need
You
to.
know, people going with this. Well, that's my comment.
We gotta get 6 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, the American Vision Building Department.
Yeah, the American Legion building is perfect, but right now it's not under any of our purview, so.
Mhm.
Okay, yes.
Are you spoken to our commander regarding that?
These are not my negotiations. These are between the Highland Ambulance Service and the American Legion directly. They're in communication. The town has nothing to do with the sort of correspondence. So if we were to be afforded an opportunity to work with them, it would be via the ambulance and it would be completely under their watch and under their
I was
discretion.
just wondering if you knew something I did not know.
I don't have any definitive answers. There's just been groups meeting. That's all I know.
Well, I wasn't done with my comment.
Yeah, right. How many more do you got?
Well,
Just kidding.
I'm very happy that we're gonna get this list of people. And my recommendation would be, we have 5 hamlets. We have like a coordinator of each one of the hamlets, and wherever those people live, that person should be notified to go into their hamlet, you know, check up on those people.
Agreed. We've had some preliminary discussions of that, but that'll be part of the new emergency protocol plan.
We gotta get it done.
Yeah.
We wanna get it done now. We've been talking about.
Well, that's what I said.
No,
That list has been on the table for quite some time.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I try to be positive all the time, but this is important.
I
yes.
understand. I agree. It's very important. So thank you for your comment. Anybody else? Okay, it is now 9:03. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.